Welcome to the second build that I am doing. This is focused on playing a mid-game with mass zealots and basically allowing the zealot to shine, while also allowing it to be useful in the mid-game using the mothership's recall ability. So we start out with a usual gate expand. So gateway into gas. We can scout with this build if we want. As usual, nexus on 20 supply, and then the cybernetics core, followed by the gas, continued pro production, and the pylon on 22 or 21. As this pylon finishes, we can start chrono boosting probes, and we can chrono boost the adept to go across the map. And also start the Stargate as soon as possible, and followed by warp gate and a second adept. So everything as usual. Chrono boosting probes. A thing to note, I put, as soon as the expansion finished, I will go back and show this. This is not super critical. This is not something you necessarily have to do. I chose to do this build with the bare minimum of gas. You can mine a bit more gas, and you can try to use that by getting a faster mothership or getting more tech units, but if you want to do the basically pure zealot style, then as soon as this expansion is ready, you take one probe out of each gas. And this will time out quite nicely. We have the Phoenix going instantly. And when the Phoenix is done, we have not quite enough for the Oracle, but only a very small delay. Oracle can kill the Overlords, and look at this. We finish the wall as soon as possible, just to be safe against a Ling Flood. And then we instantly take this third. Now the logic behind this is we cannot defend this against a Ling Flood. That is just something you have to accept. However, if you wanted to Ling Flood this, if he starts building links at this point, then we're totally fine. We're gonna have 2 adepts there soon. We might have a shield battery going up soon. We have an Oracle. So a later Ling Flood is not a problem. The problem is if he would stop at, say, 30 drones and then made 20 more links instead of these 11 drones. The nice thing is that if that was the case, which is, well, depending on your league, I guess, it might be likely or it might be unlikely, but regardless, it doesn't really matter, because what we do then is we just cancel the expansion. We build some more zealots until we can go down and take this base. Perhaps we get 2 oracles. Perhaps we get a void ray if we're scared of roaches. And then we take it a bit later. And sure, your economy is damaged, but so is the Zerg economy. So that is not a problem. We don't have to keep this base alive, is what I'm trying to say. It is okay to sacrifice it if necessary. So you absolutely don't want to move out your adepts against that, because then you're in trouble if you lose the adepts against lots of links for no reason. Notice the position on this adepts. We hide them between the minerals. Basic scouting with the Oracle. If you find some damage, that's great. If you don't, that's fine. You can just keep the Oracle defending here if you don't feel like microing the Oracle at this stage. Also, I want you to note the 2 zealots here. With a normal Protoss build, you tend to avoid building gateway units here. You want to invest only in, let's say, an Archon drop and upgrades and Storm. You maybe take these gases, build an additional robo or gateways. You don't want to build gateway units if you don't have to. The reason we make this is so that we can hit a timing here, which is gonna punish a Zerg that is too greedy. Just like the Archon drop forces the Zerg to not build drones. This build does it with a straight up Zealot attack. So looking back at the build, we have these two, the charge and the +1 going up as soon as you can. You can get the gateways first if you're afraid of an attack. The 4th base coming up, because notice when we're not mining gas, we only have 57 probes, which is not that much, yet we're oversaturated already. So that is what the 4th is for. It's so that we can go up to a normal probe count and continue mining minerals, because we want lots of zealots. But if we keep building too many probes here, then they will not have anything efficient to mine from. So the 4th is used for that. And just like the 3rd could be cancelled, this one can totally be cancelled. If the Zerg is making roaches on 40 drones, we don't need the space at all. So this move out, we'll see what the Zerg is up to, and perhaps cancel the space. So as you may notice, let's go back. This game, I made quite a nice timing with this attack. We have charge and +1 just finishing. And the +1 of course allows your zealots to 2-shot links instead of 3-shot. And if we look at my vision, it's very limited. I haven't seen these roaches. The Phoenix is being lazy. So this is very scary for me. I don't know how much he's got. I don't know if he's got banelings. So all I want to see is that he's got enough to stay alive, and then I just recall. The nice thing about this build is you have 2 adepts with this attack. Now, adepts and zealots, they don't fight that well together, but 2 adepts is enough to one-shot drones. So you can use these adepts. I will show the control groups as well. You can put the adepts in a separate group and use your zealots like you want, and simply try to focus down drones. This will also give extra scouting information. Now, what I was hoping for, if he would have messed up just a little bit, he may have sent the roaches to defend against the adepts. And if the roaches would be sitting here right now, this base might go down. But I think he was in position here, yeah. So I simply tried to go back. Recall could be used. It's very important to keep in mind. Looking at the gas, we started the fleet when we had about 200 gas. It can start at 300. It's not a... You don't have to be super picky about that, because you have to wait for the mothership gas anyway. But as soon as we have 400 gas, start the mothership. And chrono boost it, of course. My probe count is still very low. I think I could have probed up a bit sooner. And the other mistake, I think, is I should be getting more gateways here. Right, so after the mothership is started, we don't have any way to spend the gas anymore, because we really want to build the zealots. And that's why I start this forge, to get extra upgrades. And this robo, I'm gonna go back again. Sorry for jumping back and forth, but let's look at exactly when the robo is started. The robo needs to produce a prism for the attack, so that, let's say you recall here. Perhaps you want to warp in units. Perhaps you want to warp in sentries to block a ramp. Or maybe you just want more zealots. Maybe you want more zealots elsewhere. The prism is such a great unit to have. And also, it will allow you to build immortals if he's going for a road roll in here. So basically, I guess the logic here was get the robo as soon as these upgrades are started, and you have 100 gas. And then after that, you can start thinking about the fleet. But this is really all the gas you're doing. You're getting the regular opening, you're getting these upgrades, and then you get the robo and the fleet and the mothership. Okay, I think we're fine. Yeah. No. Okay. Sorry about the lag. Right, so I'm just gonna fast forward to the actual attack. +2 started, which will interrupt with the mothership. Perhaps you want to mine a bit more gas to avoid that. Now, as soon as the 4th is finished, you want to send these probes down. Mining efficiently is quite important. You're really relying on having a strong army. So you need to get as many units as you can, since you don't have any powerful tech units to make up for having less units. At this point, when the attack is being set up, you can start thinking about taking a 5th. But more likely is you're probably not playing an opponent that's equally defensive as my opponent. This is not necessarily the best case scenario for you. If you would attack here, we can look at the stats. We've got 51 zealots with +2. So if we can surround these 32 roaches, 12 hydras, 3 lurkers, 1 ravager. Also keep in mind, these units have to move across the map. When they have, we can warp in 10 more zealots. So basically 61 zealots against all that is gonna crush that army. And I think you will see that soon. So these units are very powerful at this exact stage. That's very important to keep in mind also. This army is made to be strong at this timing. If we let the game go on 2 more minutes without attacking, there can be like 12 lurkers, and this army is just not. It's not gonna kill a single unit basically. So this is why we make the mothership. It allows us to actually hit an attack here, because what would happen normally is without the mothership is he would identify that our army is gonna be horrible in 2 minutes, and he's just gonna turtle. The mothership allows us to actually get to his main, to pull him apart, even when he's in a defensive position. Now, if the opponent attacks, which is the dream scenario, and that is what happens here, then you're happy, and you can use the mothership to quickly counterattack instead. I will put the zealot usage in the text, so you can see what I write about that, how to learn to do that, and how to use it. So we can see now that we have the main army here, and about half of the army preparing to flank. So we send this army around. I was expecting an attack here, So I wanted to send my units around like this. And then when he attacks, we come with zealots from here and the main army from there. That's not quite what happened, because our vision is so bad. It would have been nice to have revelation on this army. However, this is not the only way to fight. We found a way around it. I found a way around it. So what we noticed here is an attack coming from here. What I did was I took enough units to defend. I put it on my remove from other groups, my split off, my trash group, and I basically just sent them to defend. And now I still have this counter, this flanking force set up. I still have my main army set up, so this doesn't interrupt with that. Find this army here. Both of my armies are on the same side, so I can't do any flanking. Except I can recall half my army and then surround afterwards. So I'm just waiting for 50 energy here. And this basically takes care of itself. You might want to go and look if this is going your way. Give a single attack move command. But this shouldn't require any fancy micro. Nexus finally at 50 energy. So recall about half of the army. Warp in units where you have the least. So if you accidentally put like 40 zealots here and 10 zealots here, then you want to warp in units from this side. And when the actual fight comes, if you're up against lurkers, you want to do a revelation. And basically just a move, not much else to do. And once we have defended, if we're lucky enough that the Zerg attacks, we can recall and counterattack. And at this point we see that I got supply blocked, partly due to losing pylons here. But also I'm struggling with spending my money due to the low gateway count. So if I would be able to spend this money, imagine if I built, let's say, 6 more gateways, I had these pylons up and ready, I would be able to warp in 15 more zealots. And he would, and the game would basically just end here. So here you want to split zealots up as much as possible. I think I messed this up quite a bit. Looking at it here, what I should have done is I should have put the mothership here when I recalled, so that half of the zealots would be here and half of the zealots would be here. On some maps you have to be careful because there's a Reaper jump path here where the zealots might just get stuck. But on this map I think it would have worked. And then I should try to clear this army that he had, send some zealots here, and then try to pick a fight with the other zealots, send some zealots here, and move towards the middle when I have enough to fight this army. And when I get here, I can send zealots to every single side, warping in more zealots. And of course gas is gonna pile up a little bit here, so I can start a transition. If I want storm, I can start that. A 5th base absolutely should start that. Gases, more probes. If you want, you can do that. I'm not gonna go into detail how to transition. This is basically what I wanted to show. Yeah, I think that's it. And just like with the first build, most of the notes will be in written form. This is just to show how a game can look. Yeah, I hope you try that, and I hope you enjoy. I will see you next week.